Hey guys, so the other day I did a 10-minute, £10 banger episode where I spent 10 minutes looking for some cheap domains just to see what's available on the market today. So I found two domains. One was called revistapueblos.org. Yes, I've learned how to say it since then. And also timegoesby.net. So Revista Pueblos looked like an incredible domain, receiving 39,000 visits a month. That's according to SEMrush. Now, I explained to double check on that, and that's what we're going to do. This is just a follow-up episode where we're going to look at, in a bit more depth, whether those domains are any good. So I found the domains, and I'll show you the two. There's timegoesby.net, and we can see here it's got a trust flow of 24 and a domain authority of 52. Now that discrepancy is a little concerning, but could be natural. And we can see that it had quite a lot of backlinks, links. And the distribution of the anchor text was not too bad. There was a lot of different anchor text, which is quite natural. And the Wayback Machine archive snapshots made it look like it hadn't really changed hands much at all. So I'll go into that in a bit. The one I want to look at first is revistapueblos.org. So this is a pending delete domain, so you can get this with a drop catcher or even with a back order. So what that is you're paying a company to try and register that the second it finally drops. So the second it drops, one of these drop catchers will grab it first, and then it will go to whoever paid for that drop catch service or the highest bidder on that drop catch service. So it's less about the stats with this domain. It's the 39,000 visits a month that it's receiving. And I want to just go over how you can verify that without having a subscription to Ahrefs or SEMrush, things like that. So easy expired domains, we'll check these stats for you. It will be listed with the domain. But as with anything, you really should be double checking before you purchase any domains. So we'll go to the Ahrefs website where they have a website checker, website traffic checker, which is actually free. You can use this limited times a day, but you can do it without a subscription. So we're going to put in revistapueblos.org. I'm going to check the traffic, see what it has to say. And you know what? We'll do the same in SEMrush. Revistapueblos.org. And yes, I do have to say what I'm saying. Now we can see, yes, indeed, the traffic was very high. 156,000 visits in December, really high. January, halved, down to 76,000. By February, down to 4,000. So straight away, we're looking at decreasing amounts of traffic, rapid decreasing. So this would suggest that there was some sort of manual action on the website there, maybe due to spam, I'm not entirely sure, and then the traffic tanked. Now, SEMrush is saying largely the same. So I would assume that there was probably a huge amount of spam in November, it gained traction, December got all the attention, loads of traffic on the website, and then de-indexed or some sort of manual action on the website has caused it to receive far less traffic, down to 2,090 in March, and then back up again in April. But again, these are estimations. These aren't actual figures. So it's possible that this domain still has a lot of rankings and a lot of links that are bringing in traffic. So it may be that you're going to get a domain that's receiving a few thousand visits a month, maybe up to 100 visits a day. Whether that makes it worth drop catching to you, I mean, that's your decision to make. But both the traffic checkers agree that the traffic was very high and it's now come down. So that's where the 39,000 figure for SEMrush comes from. When I checked this yesterday, the traffic was still saying 39,000, because what it does is it does an average. So the longer we get this period of zero traffic or very low traffic, that average is going to come down. So that 39,000 is legit. It's just not quite representative of the traffic that the website will be receiving when it's bought today. So it's not a terrible domain. It's still receiving a reasonable amount of traffic, which is, you can sell that on, you can build on it, you can maybe try and clean up the backlink profile and end up with a decent domain because it's clearly had a lot of attention at some point, and maybe it's salvageable. I don't think it's quite as exciting as when you first find a domain and it's got tens of thousands of traffic, but maybe it still has value to you. So that's something to bear in mind. If you were looking at drop catching that domain, just give it a second thought and just be aware that it's not receiving 39,000 now. You're probably going to be receiving up to 1,000, maybe 2. As you can see, in April it was 5,000, March it was 90. So it's a bit of a crapshoot, bit of a gamble. It's up to you. So we've looked at that. Now we have timegoesby.net. On the surface, doesn't look quite as interesting. It's not receiving any traffic as far as SEMrush or Ahrefs are concerned. The MOZ is high, trust flow is very solid, but it has referring domains 569, and the content history on this domain, I'll show you. So I'll open up a bunch of snapshots from through the years. I've already been through these myself, so this is just for the video. From the outset, Time Goes By, it was a blog. The topic of it is not super interesting to me, but it's there. It's got a lot of pages, different writers and stuff. And all through history, the design barely changes. The content is updated, but it doesn't change wildly. So this is a prime example of a very clean website. When I talked about this domain the other day, it didn't have any visits. There was nobody looking at it. I think it was either $1 or maybe it was $10. I forget exactly. But then I looked the next day, it was $145. And then I've looked just now, and a couple hours ago, it got the price on it increased. It's now at $305. I actually think this is a very safe domain. This is something that if you're to add to a PBN or to sell links, you're going to get buyers for this. It's a very clean domain, clean outbound links, clean inbound links. From what I've seen anyway. Disclaimer, take everything I say with a pinch of salt. This is entertainment only, but in my opinion, that's a very clean domain. See, the appraisal's coming out $204. GoDaddy's saying the estimated value's, oh, that's why. Yeah, so the estimated value from them is $204. It's currently at $305. When I saw it, I thought this domain is genuinely worth probably low thousand figure, low four figures. The price that the reseller will put on it, maybe I'm wrong. That high domain authority really would, it gets people excited. And as we can see, looking on the Ahrefs website, not only does it have a very strong trust flow, very high domain authority, it's got a domain rating of 41. I'm actually going to say, I think that's probably worth far more than that. Yeah, the domain's probably well in excess of $1,000 value. So I just wanted to have a little catch up with you about the two domains that I found the other day, because I'd looked into them a bit more and I wanted to just show this side of it, because the excitement when you find a domain can sometimes make you make a purchase without really considering all of the aspects of it. So that Revista Pueblos, I was getting very excited because of the 39,000 traffic. Turns out it will be significantly lower. It might still have a good amount of traffic, which is fairly low for an expired domain. But the one that I think is interesting is this timegoesby.net. You see domains with good stats, clean history, very good backlinks that will be hard to replicate. They're very hard to find, and there's always a buyer for a strong quality domain. So I hope that's been interesting for some of you, useful maybe, but I think I've said enough. I'm going to stop talking now. Bye.